Hi everyone, this is Dr. Davis, and I just finished grading your week 2 project and charter assignments, and I have a few comments for you. You should be able to check and see your grades, and I provided some extensive feedback for some of you in your rubric and in the just general comments. I have a concern for a number of you. So these comments don't apply to everybody. So a number of you scored very highly, and so you can just review this just to double check for in the future. Some of you didn't do quite so well, and you need to pay attention to my comments in the feedback that I provided for you, and listen to this as well. So for every assignment in this course, except for this week, which is your literature review, your assignment will follow a particular format, and I've included that format in a number of places. So if you look in your week 2 preview assignment, I talk about the project charter and scope assignment in there, and I lay out an actual format for you. I have also provided you with a filled in grading grid with some comments and some helps. That's attached to the week 2 preview assignment. That gives you some additional comments and thoughts. And we also discussed this in our mentor instructor student meeting when I went over the type of assignments. I wanted to be sure, because this is a different type of assignment than you're used to, so I wanted to be sure that you had as much information as possible as to how to complete this. So I'm going to go over this one more time for you, so in future assignments you're not losing points for the format. So these assignments have two parts. There's a scholarly section, and that scholarly section should be a brief discussion, a page to page and a half, for each of the tools that are presented, that talks about the importance of that particular tool, why it's used, the significance, and those type of things. So for instance, in week 2, your paper should have had two distinct sections, one on scope and one on charter. So you should have had anywhere between 2 pages to 3 pages of narrative that talked about the scope and the charter. And your research in those areas probably would have taken you out of nursing into some of the business literature or some of the project management literature. There is some information that you'll find in nursing, like in nursing economics, nursing management, some of those magazines, or some of those journals rather. But a lot of your research is going to take you out of nursing, which is fine. You need to expand your comfort zone here and expand the scope of your thinking. So once you get that information and you have your paper organized, the assignment should follow the format that's listed in the announcement for week 2, the preview for week 2. It should start out with an APA formatted paper that will have a title page. Then you'll have your section on the scope. You'll have followed immediately by a section on the charter, and then you'll have your reference list. Then you will complete each of the templates. The templates are provided for you in course resources. You'll fill in the blanks. You'll get the signatures that are required in there. Anything that's asked for in those particular template documents, you'll complete those, and then you'll attach each of those templates to your narrative section as an appendix, so that each week you will submit one single document. So I should not be seeing multiple documents in the gradebook when I open that up. There should be one document that'll have a title page, your scholarly section, which is your narrative about what that tool or those tools are, and then your reference list telling me what sources you use to find the information that's presented, and then you'll have your appendix or your appendices. So let's think about week 4. Week 4 we'll be talking about a communication plan. So for your communication plan, you'll have your APA formatted title page. You'll have a section, a page to page and a half, 2 pages is fine, on what a communication plan is. Why is that important? Why do we include that in a project management process? You'll have your reference page, your reference list, which will probably be fairly short, which is again, fine. This is just a really short summary of what this tool is. Then in course resources, you'll open up the communications plan. You will print that out, or you don't even really have to print it out. You'll fill in the document with all the information that's required in there. Then you'll save that and then attach that at the end of your as a new page at the end of that document, so it'll follow your reference list, and that will be one single document that you will submit. Some weeks there are just a single tool that we'll be looking at, like the week we do communication plan. There are other weeks, like week 2, where there are 2 different tools that we'll be looking at. So you may be attaching 1 appendix, you may be attaching 2 appendices. If there are 2 tools that we're talking about, you'll have 2 sections in your narrative in your scholarly area. So that's really how that should work. So, and I also want you to be completing these assignments as thoroughly as possible. Please spend some time thinking about this and doing them, getting the value out of it. So please don't rush through these. Imagine that if this isn't the case, pretend that this that your job really depends on this project being successful, and that you'll be submitting these documents to your supervisor or somebody even higher, like the chief nursing officer, who will be reviewing these things. So what I have found is that the extent to which you put time and effort into assignments like this will be very much consistent with the time and effort that you'll do this in real life. So I know that you think that some of you may think that this is just class. I can just I'll do a better job when I get to my real life work. That's usually not the case, because then you'll if you're cutting corners here, you'll cut corners in real life as well. So we are trying to prepare competent and caring executive leaders for nursing organizations. So I really expect to see that type of work in these assignments. It's really important. So hopefully that drives home the point. Again, each week I'll re-emphasize this in my preview announcements. So if you're not used to looking at announcements, please be sure to read my announcements and review them. You've got rubrics. Some of you lost points because you just didn't address something that was required in the rubric. So be sure to use all the resources that you have available to you as you do these assignments. So your week 3 assignment is your literature review. So just make sure, again, I posted an outline for you in the week 3 preview assignment, or a preview announcement, so you have an idea of what that should look like. So I think that covers it. I'll leave it there, and let me know if you have any questions about that. Thanks much. Take care. Bye.